That's where you get them. You have to take the money, though. Justice is not free in this country.
Right, but we can't all call you. You've done a great job. I thank you again, but you're not always available. So we've got to be able to stand up on our own 2 feet with nobody behind us.
I got 3 phones.
You're not going to do this anymore.
No, I agree. If you got any ideas on that one, bring her ahead and get it organized, because I don't have any to tell you how you can find them back, because I think the court is the only place we have to go. And the justice system is pretty poor, especially in the lower courts. You have none, as far as I'm concerned. Lower courts only deal with the laws the municipality made. They say we made this law that you can only drive 50 miles an hour. Did you go 55? And you say yes, but it's not the right law. And he doesn't say, he says, I don't care, that's the law. They don't have any jurisdiction to change the law. So when you're in a lower court, you don't have any justice on whether the law is right or wrong. You have to go to Superior and Supreme to get that kind of justice. So Superior Court is your next chance. So once you get beat in the lower court, you have to do the appeal. But when you do the lower court, make sure you got a good lawyer that puts some kind of caveat in there that says, he's breaking my constitutional rights, because that's the only way you get an appeal. Unless they do something wrong and don't address what you're bringing up in court, you won't get an appeal. Because if it's just black and white, did you go more than 50 miles an hour, yes or no, there's no appeal, because they were right. You know what I mean? I'm blurry at that one, I know. Yeah.
I had a fight against the conservation authority.
Yep.
Diane, can you bring them so that everybody can hear the question?
Yep.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring you a microphone. Just makes it easier for everybody listening.
I'm doing a development small subdivision at the east end of Ottawa on the rural area. And I took they imposed 134 conditions on subdivision.
134 conditions?
I took them to OLB and represented myself. I genuinely believe that they do have an authority to impose restrictions, but their restrictions should be fair and reasonable and justifiable under Section 1 of the Charter. Right?
Yep.
So what my argument is, these some conditions, 10 out of 10 of the 12 conditions, I challenged, and I won 6 out of 12 on the OLB.
Okay. On
4 I lost. And the Conservation Authority and the city came and gave false evidence. In one case, I won on the 30 meter. I won, and they said, okay, I brought evidence of another development where they had not let 30 meters, and my creek is a creek that starts from my own property.
Yep.
It's near to the land.
Yep.
I can stand with my 2 legs on either side of the creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they want 30 meters on this side, and they want 30 meters on that side.
Yeah.
Without no development. Initially they said no touch land. I said, what do you mean by no touch land? Can I go and sit down in that land? Is that not allowed? And they said, no, we say no development. So what do you mean by no development? So anyway, I touched on that, but then I fought the 4 conditions that it came to the Ontario Court of
Appeal. Yeah.
First to the Ontario Divisional Court,
Yep.
the single judge. I lost that. I went to the appeal court. The appeal court sent it back to a 3-judge panel in the divisional court, and I lost there. Now I'm going back to the appeal court, and I really take my issue is fair and reasonable use and enjoyment of the property.
Yep.
Is a right you have as a fundamental freedom.
It is.
I say guaranteed under Section 2 of the Charter, because what you do in your own home, your freedom of association, the family you deal with, the parties you may now want to have, they are all part of freedom of association, which is under Section 2 of the Charter. It's freedom of expression. You might want to have a statue in your garden, you might have to have landscaping, you might have architecture in your house.
Yep.
All those are forms of your personal.
You have to get to your question here.
Yeah, so the question about it is also, would you agree that fair and reasonable use and enjoyment of the property
Absolutely.
is a fundamental right, and that should be enforced, and I would like your support in that issue.
It's not fundamental, it's inalienable right.
Inalienable right.
It's inalienable right. You were born with that right in Canada, and it's in all our old laws. Liz can talk to that anytime you want to do that. She's got all kinds of information on that and how it's locked up pretty well since the Magna Carta. So somebody else there, Tim?
Yeah. Just want to clarify one thing you said, Tom. You said that when you approach the Conservation Authority or whatever and ask them to help you in a question of expertise, that allows them further rights to go onto your property. I would disagree with that statement. I think if you're coming to them for expertise help, you haven't signed anything. You're just asking them to clarify, to give you advice, whatever. And that should not allow them further access to your property.
I 100% agree, but I didn't say that, Tim, but I know I mumble a lot. But I said that the city said I had to get a permit from them for a septic tank because they won't give you a house permit, a building permit, which is also skewed, I believe, but we haven't taken that on yet. But because the city ties us to the conservation authorities to get this septic permit, then you're going to them for a permit, which then allows them to come inspect that permit, that site. And so then you're in the system, and they can come there pretty well and do whatever they want to. Really, that's the way it is. But I agree with you. What their mandate is to be a source of information for me to do best case scenario way of doing something. That's the way it's meant to be. And I should feel free to go and ask them what their idea of doing this project properly how it should be done. And they should lay out that's their job, in my opinion, is that they should lay it out there, but they should have no authority to whip me if I don't do it exactly to what their scale is. You know?
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that's a lot of the background in a lot of these cases is that we as landowners have to start invoking them to do their job and not trying to beat us over the head with particular legislation regulations. Now, one other point I want to bring up that you discussed about floodplains.
Yep.
Geologically speaking, there is no such thing as a floodplain if you have a man-made device on that watershed moderating the flow of the water. So as soon as you put in a dam, yep, you no longer have floodplain, you no longer have the right to declare floodplain.
And that's pretty well every river in this eastern Ontario now. You know, that's why the guys at Carlton Place backed off so quickly, because Jeff hit it right in the nose, and it put them in a bad position, and they knew it. But that being said, like we had a situation at Rideau Valley last spring, with the flooding of a lot of farms down there, and they are supposed to be monitoring that flood. You know, that is their job. They are supposed to know where that flood is and how much is there, how much is happening, how high it is.
Especially in that case for Cranberry Creek, they had already implemented a dam and pumping system.
Yep.
And then over the years, they just let it fall apart.
They let it fall apart.
They wonder why the land was flooding.
And that was part of Rideau Township and part of the amalgamation system that got lost in the trip. But when we went down there, and most people maybe don't know it, but we went down there with about 30 farmers there last spring and blocked them in for about 5 hours. And then out of that, we got a meeting with the Rideau Valley, the Rideau Canal authorities. Yeah, go ahead, Jack. Yeah. The Rideau Canal authorities and the Rideau Valley and Pierre Poliver and Lisa McLeod, they all came out for that meeting. We had a full house, and they said we behaved badly. But anyways, we may have, but it was well structured, I thought. And before we were done that meeting, we had one of the top guys at Rideau Valley take one of our guys in the back room and said, "Listen, we'll get this fixed right now. We'll give you all the permits you need to get this fixed right now. Just stop doing this stuff. Stop doing this. We're going to do it right. We've got it done." Now, we have no authority to do that. The guys that own the farms are the only guys that can fund that kind of a project. And the City of Ottawa was not helpful. We had Dave Ryan there from drainage guys in Ottawa, and they dragged their feet pretty hard and tried to make it bad for the farmers to do much. But it's complicated putting a dam in or something like that. And last year, it was too damn wet. We couldn't get the water down anywhere. You could get in there. So, it shows you that. The other thing I was going to mention that they did not have any measurements on those creeks. They had no water levels. We took them out on a drive after we had them hostage there. We took the boss and his sidekick out, and they had never been down those roads and seen the water going under the culverts, the big culverts in the road, right to the top. Guys with drainage pumps in the field pumping the water round and round like that. It was, the pumps were running and it was pumping around, ducks and geese floating everywhere. 50-acre fields of water and corn sticking up through it. You know, this is all tile drained. And so they weren't doing their job. Now they have monitors on those creeks and rivers, I'm telling you. And that was what came out of that. But that's their job. That's what the point I was trying to make, is make them do the job they're supposed to be doing, give us the advice we need, and the expertise that they're supposed to have, that's what they're getting paid for, to do the project right. You know, I saw a CFL right back here with a tarp building this is how bad it is. He lives on the side of a small river. He needed a tarp building to put some machinery in. It was early in the season. A construction guy was looking to get somebody on the go, so he put an application into City of Ottawa, building permit. Yeah, you got to go and get one from Rideau Valley. And he said, great. So that means you got one from Rideau Valley. He said, yeah, good to go, no problem with the floodplain. So he let the guy go and start to build. Well, City of Ottawa didn't like it. They said, no way, that's not a floodplain. So he stopped him. Mid-project. No ends on the barn, can't put them on because City of Ottawa wouldn't approve it. So they're using this system. The City of Ottawa, you got to realize there's some people in there that just don't think we should live out here. And if there's water near you, you're a bad guy. And if you're a farm, you're even worse.